By late June, the rainy season was relentless. The sky was a dull, unbroken grey, and the steady drizzle made everything feel damp and heavy. The air hung thick with moisture, clinging to skin and clothes alike. The school, too, had taken on the same dreary atmosphere, its students weighed down by the endless cycle of downpours and fleeting moments of sun. Amane sat quietly in his seat, observing the sluggish movements of his classmates. The sports club members returned from practice soaked through, their uniforms sticking uncomfortably to their bodies. Even Chaitos, normally bursting with energy despite not belonging to any club, had surrendered to the oppressive weather. She lay sprawled across her desk, her usual liveliness completely drained. "Yuck, it's so muggy," she groaned. "Well, it is the rainy season," Amane replied, unfazed. Chaitos shifted slightly, attempting to push back strands of hair that had escaped the twin bunches she had tied in a desperate attempt to control the frizz. The humidity had other plans. Her hair, usually left loose, now framed her face in an unruly mess. "You seem to be doing just fine, Amane," she noted, her voice thick with envy. I don't mind quiet days like this. Though, I could do without the humidity." "Good for you. This weather makes me want to run around screaming. The ground's too slippery. You'd probably just fall and ruin your clothes." And the mud would never come out in the wash," she sighed, sinking further into her chair. Amane chuckled, but his attention soon wandered across the room, landing on Mahiru. She was chatting with a group of girls, her smile as serene as ever. Unlike Chaitos, she seemed unaffected by the season's gloom. In fact, there was something even more radiant about her today. Makoto, ever observant, followed Amane's gaze and smirked. "What's this? Jealous of the girls?" Amane shook his head. "No. Her hair's just different today. I was admiring it." Mahiru's usual silky locks were gathered into 2 long braids, draping gracefully over her shoulders. It wasn't a style she wore often, and it seemed to have drawn admiration from many in their class. Some of the boys had even muttered about how the angel looked even more refreshing in the stifling humidity. "You seem chipper, Makoto," Chaitos grumbled, now glaring at his perfectly smooth hair. "I'm jealous for more than one reason." Makoto shrugged. "I'm not exactly happy about this weather either. I'd rather the rain end soon. You can't even see the stars." "Oh, right. You're in the astronomy club." "Yeah. It's not like we get to stargaze often, though. We'd need an advisor, special permissions, and time after school. Mostly, we just research. But either way, cloudy skies mean no stars. It sucks." Chaitos sighed, sharing in his disappointment. Just then, Mahiru approached, her steps as graceful as ever, and sat beside Amane. She listened as he summarized their conversation, nodding in understanding. "Well," she said, offering Chaitos a knowing smile, "this season is particularly tough on you, isn't it? You can't go outside much, you can't exercise, and even your hair struggles." Chaitos pouted. Don't remind me." Makoto chuckled. "You know, you were always quiet during this season back in middle school, too. Especially in second year. It was hard to imagine you'd grow into the hyperactive menace you are now." Chaitos' eyes widened in horror. "Arg. I don't want to think about middle school." She clapped her hands over her ears, shaking her head violently. Makoto, either oblivious or enjoying himself, added, "Well, honestly, the way you are now suits you better. You're loud, but it's a good kind of loud." "Are you trying to pick a fight with me?" Makoto hesitated. "I mean, lively. Don't bother correcting yourself. I know what you meant." Despite her protest, her voice had regained some of its usual fire. She playfully slammed her fists on her desk, but the dullness in her expression had faded. Makoto had cheered her up in his own way. Amane caught Mahiru's gaze and, in that quiet moment, they exchanged a small, knowing smile. Even on the gloomiest days, the right company could make the rain a little lighter.